May our ancestors breathe blessing onto us, for our eyes to open and our life purpose to become clear. Dagara Prayer, West Africa.
In the beginning, there was darkness covered in darkness. There was no existence and no non-existence. There was no earth, no sky above. There was no death and no immortality. Their beginning of life floated on the waters of empty space. And from fire came the wind, and from the wind the waters. From the waters came the earth, and from the earth the seeds of man were created. An ancient song of India.
The purpose of God in creating man hath been and will ever be to enable him to know his Creator and to attain his presence. To this most excellent aim, this supreme objective, all the heavenly books and the divinely revealed and weighty scriptures unequivocally bear witness. It is incumbent upon every man of insight and understanding to strive to translate that which hath been written into reality and action. That one indeed is a man who today dedicateth himself to the service of the entire human race. Blessed and happy is he that ariseth to promote the best interests of the peoples and kindreds of the earth. It is not for him to pride himself who loveth his own country, but rather for him who loveth the whole world. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. If thine eyes be turned toward mercy, forsake the things that profit thee, and cleave unto that which will profit mankind. And if thine eyes be turned toward justice, choose thou for thy neighbor that which thou choosest for thyself. Baha'u'llah.
Seeing without eyes, hearing without ears, walking without feet, working without hands, speaking without tongue, thus dying without living. O Nanak, know this as the way unto thy Lord, to be attained unto his cosmic law. Guru Nanak, Sikh scripture.
The valley spirit never dies. It is named the mysterious female, and the doorway of the mysterious female is the base from which heaven and earth spring. It is there within us all the while. Draw upon it as you will, it never runs dry. Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching.
Humanity is like a heavy vessel and like a long road. He who tries to lift the vessel cannot sustain its weight. He who travels the road cannot accomplish all its distance. There is nothing that has so many different degrees as humanity, and thus who tries to nerve himself to compass it finds it a difficult task. Confucius.
Master Hogan asked a monk, "Look at this big old stone. Do you think it is inside or outside your mind?" The monk replied, "According to Buddhist teachings, everything is a projection of the mind, so I conclude that it is inside my mind." Hogan commented, "Don't you get tired carrying around such a heavy stone?" Zen teachings.
I call upon the four winds, earth to ground me, air to teach me, fire to empower me, water to uplift me. I honor grandmother earth who bore me, grandfather sky who watches over me, and the creator whose spark is within me and all things. Celtic invocation.
Bow down thine ear, O Lord, hear me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou my God, save thy servant that trusteth in thee. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. Rejoice the soul of thy servant, for unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Psalm 86, verses 1 through 4.
O ye folk, serve your Lord who created you and those before you. Haply you may fear who made the earth for you a bed, and the heaven a dome, and sent down from heaven water, and brought forth therewith fruits as a subsistence for you. So make no peers for God, the while ye know. Chapter of the heifer, the Quran.
O children of men, know ye not why we created you all from the same dust? That no one should exalt himself over the other. Ponder at all times in your hearts how you were created. Since we have created you all from one same substance, it is incumbent on you to be even as one soul, to walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, and dwell in the same land, that from your inmost being, by your deeds and actions, the signs of oneness and the essence of detachment may be made manifest. Such is my counsel to you, O concourse of light. Heed ye this counsel, that ye may obtain the fruit of holiness from the tree of wondrous glory. Baha'u'llah, The Hidden Words.
Long life, honey in the heart, no evil. 13 thank yous. Mayan prayer.
The old tribesman had been gone about an hour. He emerged from the forest with his frayed work shirt now tied around his waist. Bits of leaves and dry grass clung to the sweat on his old skin. He held his machete in front of him as he made his way through the undergrowth. As he entered the clearing, I saw he carried a long pole on his shoulder with a beehive impaled on the end of it. Papa Atanga had brought back what he had set out to find. He carried his load to the tree under which I was sitting and laid it down in the shade. As he approached, I quickly stood up and moved out of his way. Most of the bees had apparently not yet vacated their hive and buzzed angrily about him. The old Natumu gave me a bemused sidelong glance as I stood watching from a safe distance out in the noonday sun. The bees flew wildly about him, and yet they did not seem to sting him. He left his prize in the shade and went back to the clearing's edge and soon returned with several broad green leaves, the kind I called elephant ears because of their shape and size. He squatted down and carefully laid out the leaves on the ground in front of him. He placed the hive in the center of the leaves and slowly withdrew the pole. Honey oozed from the wound onto the leaves. The old man gently began to cut up the hive with his machete. The bees became even more agitated and covered his arms and back. The old man seemed unbothered by the bees swarming and crawling over his bare skin. He took each section of the hive and squeezed it in his hands. The clear golden liquid spread out in a pool on the leaves. "My elder, why is it that the bees do not eat you?" I asked him in Natumu. "Sting, not eat," he corrected. Without lifting his eyes from his work, he replied with the proverb, "Homeless bees never sting." This saying was chosen to remind me of my place. He watched me to see if I understood the analogy of homeless bees. When all of the honey had been squeezed out of the hive, the old man folded up the leaves into a cone-shaped package and sealed the top closed with a spine he had cut from a nearby vine. It didn't leak, a functional origami masterpiece. He stood up and brushed the remaining bees and leaves off his back and put his shirt on. He put the residual wax from the hive and the package of honey into an old basket he slung over his shoulder and prepared to leave. He asked, "Do you want to hear an old proverb?" "I am the child who wants to learn," I said carefully, showing proper deference to my elders. He pointed to the package of honey and said, "Mot ana aka wo." Man is a leaf of honey. "How is man a leaf of honey?" I asked. Papa Atanga started off down the path that led to the village. As we walked, he explained, "I will take this leaf of honey back to my village and give it to my first wife to store. She will drain the honey from the leaf onto a special bottle she keeps. When she is finished, she will give the leaf to the children. Each will lick the leaf and find some honey to sweeten the tongue. When the last child has finished, he will throw the leaf out behind the hut where the goats sleep. They will have their turn. The other animals, the chickens, the flies, ants, and so on, will come and find their share of honey left on the leaf." The old man paused and stared into my soul with his black eyes, and for the first time smiled at me. "Man is a leaf of honey. This is what you need to know about us." He repeated this several times to make sure I understood, and then continued. "Man is good, and man is precious. And like the leaf of honey, his goodness is inexhaustible. When you think that there is none left, there is still some there to find. This you should not forget." The old man smiled with the pleasure of someone who has just given a gift to his grandson. This was his first act of kindness towards me. With a nod of his head and a gesture of hand, he silently indicated that he would say no more and that I should go back to the clearing. That night, back in the village, as I lay awake in my hammock, I saw the significance of this one proverb. He had begun to teach me, and like in any good master-apprentice relationship, he knew what I needed to learn. Joseph Shepherd, From a Leaf of Honey.
It is not only physical bravery that counts. One must have the courage to face up to life as it is, to go through sorrows, and always sacrifice oneself for the sake of others. Kipsigis saying from Kenya.
To live in the moment, each day as it comes, requires a discipline and a cleanliness. It's not quite giving up hope, but hope becomes an extension merely of the day's awareness, not something set apart like a bank account or accumulation of pledges falling due. God speaks from the whirlwind. Count on nothing at all except that I will love and try you hard and bring all things to an end, including you, as you have known yourself all these days past. Your root is in me, child, and the root is here always, and I am here at the golden heart of each frail moment passing, always new. It's death to cling to me, but life to find me. Frederick Morgan.
What is to be done, O Muslims? For I do not recognize myself. I am neither Christian, nor Jew, nor Gabur, nor Muslim. I am not of the East, nor of the West, nor of the land, nor of the sea. I am not of nature's mint, nor of the circling heavens. I am not of earth, nor of water, nor of air, nor of fire. I am not of the Ephraim, nor of the dust, nor of existence, nor of entity. I am not of India, nor of China, nor of Bulgaria, nor of Sasquin. I am not of the kingdom of Rakian, nor of the country of Khorassan. I am not of this world, nor of the next, nor of paradise, nor of hell. I am not of Adam, nor of Eve, nor of Edom and Rizwan. My place is the placeless. My trace is the traceless. 'Tis neither body nor soul, for I belong to the soul of the beloved. I have put duality away. I have seen that the two worlds are one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, one I call. He is the first, he is the last. He is the outward, he is the inward. I know none other except Yahu and Yamanhu. I am intoxicated with love's cup. The two worlds have passed out of my ken. If once in my life I spent a moment without thee, from that time and from that hour I repent of my life. If once in this world I win a moment with thee, I will trample on both worlds. I will dance in triumph forever. Rumi, 13th century Persian poet.
One night, a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest time of his life. That really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why when I needed you most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my son, my precious child, I love you and would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. Native American tradition.
Let all your striving be for this, to become the source of life and immortality, and peace and comfort and joy to every human soul, whether one known to you or a stranger, one opposed to you or on your side. Look ye not upon the purity or impurity of his nature. Look ye upon the all-embracing mercy of the Lord, the light of whose grace hath embosomed the whole earth and all who dwell thereon, and in the plenitude of whose bounty are immersed both the wise and the ignorant. Stranger and friend alike are seated at the table of his favor. Baha'u'llah.
I urge you to trudge not through life, leaving ugly gashes, to tiptoe not through life, leaving half-formed impressions, but to tread gently, lovingly, and purposefully, leaving graceful heart prints. Unity Tao, High Court Judge, Botswana.